One, two, buckle my shoe. Just been listening to Bat Out of Hell by Meatloaf. What a throwback song that is, by the way. If you haven't listened to it before, skip to about a minute and a half in, because it's a long intro. But it's fucking good. Fucking good. Well, love it. I am on my way to meet another investor, G. If you're watching this, G, big shout out to you. She's lovely. And basically, she's going to come around my projects just to, I'm not going to onboard her or anything. She's just an investor. She's come down here to see what I'm up to and stuff, and potentially learn off each other, because she has a couple projects herself, and she'll have come across different problems than me, and I'll have come across different problems than her. So this is just a great way to like bounce off each other and help each other out. Definitely recommend doing stuff like this. Fucking let me in. Right. Yeah, and also the first invoice for Project Madagascar has come through, and I'm going to go, because it's like, if you're doing deal packaging, even if you're doing it for yourself, if you're paying for the refurb by cash, then you're not going to have the drawdown surveyor come out and assess what work has been completed, because when you do development finance, where you take 100% loan to fund the renovation / conversion, you will have a surveyor come out at each invoice, each stage, to assess what work has been completed, and they'll pay for work that's been completed. Now, if you're doing it by cash, now if that's what's happening for this project, you have to act like that person. You have to go to the project and you have to assess it and ensure what they're invoicing for has been completed. That is just your job, all right? Now, with a drawdown surveyor, they can be really strict. They can be extremely strict in the sense that you could see like radiators are on site, but because they're not fitted, they won't pay it. But some other surveyors are like really understanding. Like, they'll be really understanding. Like, they'll see the wiring there, they'll see the electrician standing there, and you'll say to them, look, he's doing it today. And they'll be like, yeah, of course I understand that, like, I get it. Like, it's obvious. But some of them are really strict. But when it's by yourself for cash, if you see the wiring there and you see the sparky just standing there, then you can put two and two together. It's going to get done today. All right? You can be a bit more lenient. So it takes a little bit of the stress off. However, when you use cash, and that's all your cash, then it's all tied up in this one deal. You can't really scale as quickly, but you're less exposed to risk and you're more in control, and you do faster payments and stuff. Because when you do drawdowns, depending on the lender, some lenders do same day if you establish like a very great long-term relationship with them, but some other lenders, like, they can take 3 or 4 days. And if a builder's not used to that, then it can cause a lot of friction, a lot of problems. You know, that's one of the huge criteria when you get a builder. Make sure they understand in depth the drawdown process. Like, okay, when you do an invoice, we're going to get the drawdown surveyor out, issue the invoice like a day before the drawdown surveyor comes out or something. So like, give me a heads up when you're wanting to issue an invoice, and I'll schedule the drawdown surveyor for then, so we don't overrun the invoice, like, so it's not overdue. And understand that it can take a few days, and if there's some documents that are required, like if they need some insurances and stuff, updated documents, then it may take a little bit longer. Are you in a position to do that? Because not all builders are, and then they end up not being able to pay like subcontractors or their employees, and it can cause a huge amount of stress. Like, that's probably been my number 1 or number 2 stressor this year, right? So just make sure that, yeah, you're not asking them to fund the deal, but you know, if it takes like a couple days extra, then are they prepared for that? Are they in a financial position to handle that? You know, you don't want to take the piss and delay it by a week or 2 weeks, but you know, a couple days here and there, that can sometimes happen, you know. So just be prepared for that. We're at Starbucks, going in here, going to chat to her, help each other out, go around Project Madagascar, see if everything that has been quoted to be done has been done, and this is it, and that's that. All right, see you then. This is what you need.
Oh, amazing.
That's how I record YouTube. I'm just going like that. This is it, and that's that. YouTube's very simple.
And then go around.
Do you want to go on YouTube? Do you want to be on YouTube?
Do you want me to? I need to. You
don't need to say.
You can stick me on YouTube. Where'd you get this stuff from?
That's from Aspire Furnishings. So it's a furniture pack company where you just...
I've seen them.
Yeah, a few people have used them. It's cheaper than interior designer, so it came to about 8,000. But then you have to do it all yourself.
I have to do what?
You have to pick the furniture and pick where it goes and make sure it flows. Do you want to see the Japanese knotweed? Just shut up. like Normandy in the 40s.
Oh.
Look at that. It's in the neighbour's garden. This is it. 13 metres from the house.
Oh, it's a 3-story.
But
I like it.
yeah, so the extension's new. You
I was wondering which way this whole thing was going.
can see the door makes it sticks out.
I think I'm going to have a funny photo of being in the Japanese knotweed. Or anything.
I don't know if I could see you actually. Hang on. Yeah, it's pretty gnarly stuff. All right. I know this video is a wee bit clunky. I'm trying to get wee bits of good clips and stuff like that. But me and G are having such in-depth conversations. I always feel a wee bit rude whipping at the camera. But we went to Starbucks, had a bit of a chit-chat, and then went around Project Dustpan that you just saw. Hopefully I kept some of it in. And basically showed her what to look out for in her projects. She's obviously very experienced, but like, see when you see Japanese knotweed in person, because you only ever see photos online, but when you see it in person, getting photos of it is also really important, so then you know what to directly look for when you're at a viewing or when you're in mid-refurb and stuff, so you can identify it and deal with it. Get a fucking flamethrower, honestly. But now we're on our way to Project Madagascar. I'm gonna kill 3 birds with 1 stone. Bird number 1, weekly site visit. Bird number 2, check everything's been completed so it aligns with the invoice, and then get that invoice paid for the builder. Bird number 3, show G around and basically teach her what's going right, what's going wrong. This is it and that's that, you know. The builder's going to be there, the build team's going to be there. Hopefully I get some clips. If I don't get any clips, I'll definitely get a sexy montage for you, because I don't want it to be somewhat of a wasted video, you know what I mean? However, I'll tell you what is pretty cool. I have reached out to someone on Instagram who I've been going back and forth with in a good positive way, and basically I'm not ready to be a mentor. I don't believe that you should be able to mentor unless you have done the thing yourself several times and have that credibility and the context is there. You don't want to be the morbidly obese personal trainer, and I don't want to teach people how to build a portfolio when I haven't built my own yet, you know what I mean? However, someone has inquired, like they've mentioned like me mentoring them, and essentially I reached out to him in a friendly way and just be like, look mate, like I don't think I'm ready to mentor you. However, I do believe there's an opportunity for us to work together in the sense that I can have a weekly call with you, help you out, give you actionable steps, do this, do that, basically somewhat be a mentor. Oh my god, my ears are popping. And in return, he pays money to charity, so he has skin in the game. So a monthly fee to charity, whatever charity he chooses, and gives me feedback. Tells me what's good, what's bad, what would he like included, what's a waste of time, and leave me a genuine review, an honest review. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to be doing mentoring anytime soon, but if I help a few people out, let's say for the next 2 years or the next year or whatever, by the time I do get round to doing mentoring and I've built my own portfolio and I'm able to take the next step up to mentoring, then I'll have reviews, I'll have worked with people who I will be mentoring and put together like a mentorship that has been criticized and had that fast feedback loops from the mentees but not the mentees. Do you know what I mean? I hope what I'm saying makes sense. Plus charities will benefit along the way. You know what I mean? So I'm getting the practice in and seeing what's happening, and we'll take it from there. So like, if you're ever wanting to do mentoring or something like that, if that's something you're considering, then this is a good option for that. It's a good way of trying to do that. Right, time for Project Madagascar. Right, you know what? I fucked it. I didn't record at the project. We were all in depth in conversation, me, G, the builders, and going around the project. Shit was getting thrown everywhere, pure rip out stage. But here's a photo, here's another photo, here's another photo, here's another photo. Hopefully your boy's editing the photos in. Boom, boom. You can see the first and second floors have now been installed. Steels have now been installed. Everything's been ripped out. Block has been put in the chimney, old chimney stacks. We're now in the stage we're taking the roof off and beginning the dormer and extension whilst the weather is good. Okay. Yeah, a lot of the rip out stage has been demolition. All the demo and rip out stage has been done, and a few structural things have occurred, like the steels and such. And yeah, beautiful. Ready for the first payment. Things have been completed, and I apologise. This week's videos haven't been the highest quality, but quantity over quality. Some people fucking think it. I'm doing it. So I want to talk about what happens when you have many projects, and do you want to use the one builder for all of them? Do you use many builders for all of them? How many projects do you allocate to a builder? And such, and so on and so forth. Now, this is something I can't talk about because 5 refurbs, soon to be 6, in 1 year. So I've got my fair experience with 3 builders so far. Now, 4 builders. Now I want to be very clear. This isn't actual advice. I'm just talking about my experience. So at the start, we allocated like many projects to one builder, and that worked out pretty well. But then we realised he was a bit over leveraged, and so we decided not to do that again. And we were going to allocate one project per one builder, and then it was really difficult to find many builders that were like the quality that we wanted it to be. So we found a sweet spot where it's about 2 projects per builder. Okay, and if you're not doing many, if you have like 4 ongoing refurbs, you may only need like 2 builders, maybe 3. Should like the 5th one overlap with the first one? You know, the first one might be finishing and you're starting the 5th one. Okay, so you may need a 3rd builder. But I say this to say, right, it's easy to find like a phenomenal builder because I've got phenomenal builders, like remarkable. However, I don't want to fall into the trap of giving them loads of projects at the same time. And it's nothing against them, okay? It's nothing against them. It's if something happens, what happens to the projects? Now, if you're a long-time viewer of this channel, I've had a builder who was more of a friend than he was a builder that passed away. Now, if I gave him 4 projects because he's good, and he was good, he was really good at what he done. But if I gave him like say 4 projects, all of my projects, and you know what, like he passed away and stuff, could you imagine the position you'd be in? So it's not a testament to whether he's good or not. You're not saying they're bad at what they do. It's if the worst happens, just I want to make it so it's only 2 projects per builder, okay? So then you could do it so you bring in an in-house project management. If you do deal packaging, you could have in-house project manager and in-house you can have your own construction company. I haven't done that, so I can't talk about it. I can't give any advice because I haven't done it. However, 2 projects per builder is, you know what, it's a nice ratio. It's a comfortable ratio. Something can still happen. One project, it was horrific with one project and the worst happening. It was still a lot of issues, you know, like it can still happen, but could you imagine having 5 projects and something happens to the builder? You're going to be in a horrific mental state as it is. The last thing you need is all of them falling apart, you know? I don't know what I want to talk about, but I want to talk about something. Let me just zoom that in a little bit. I want to talk about something. Whenever I meet someone like G or Amo that I met last week, my friends Jim, Leon, everyone, whenever I meet people and speak to them about their stories and my stories and basically all the problems everyone's faced, it makes me realize that a lot of people go through more shit than we like to show on social media. Okay? Like, I'm not going to share G's story, that's her story to share. However, she's been through a lot and she's seen a lot, done a lot, basically from the ground up. You know, like she's a remarkable person, and I've lost everything. I had to rebuild it. People I know have lost everything. Some people are currently in that position. You know, and there's a lot of fear. There's a lot of self-doubt. There's a lot of struggle within the property industry, which I'm seeing. Maybe in the, you know what, in the overall business owner industry, there's a lot of fear, struggle, self-doubt. What if this happens? What if I don't manage to find this? What if the two fucking deadly words, if used in the wrong way, can obliterate you and force you to quit. So a lot of people think, well, what if I don't find this? What if I don't do this? What if this deal falls through? What if the refurb comes up? What if there's structural issues? What if the insert anything fucking negative? And I know it's very trivial and piss easy for me to say, but if you can, try and reframe it where you're like, what if there isn't structural issues? What if the offer does get accepted? You know what? What if they do answer my follow-up and I do onboard them? You know? Man. I don't want my channel to turn into me fucking whinging, by the way. I don't. But I'm surrounded by people who I relate to, who have been through a lot, who are struggling, and I need you to know that if you're struggling, if you are struggling to sleep at night, if you're struggling to get offers accepted, if you're struggling to raise finance, find clients, find investors, find properties, find builders, insert anything, you're not the only one. You're not the only one, okay? I know people that are 10 times more successful than I am, that have the same struggles mentally as someone that's starting out today, you know? But do you know what is helping me? Do you know what is helping everyone else? It's meeting up, like I did with G today, meeting up with people and talking through it all. And you laugh about it. It's the equivalent, like, see when I meet people at a project and we talk about, like, oh, my builder done this, or like, oh, we had this huge structural problems, like, do you know what I mean? Oh, my neighbours said this, my neighbours done that. Like, it's the equivalent of going to the pub and having a pint and just laughing about your problems. I watch Clarkson's Farm and he talks about farmers go to the pub, they have a pint, and they laugh about the problems. Like, the problems are still serious, the problems are still there, but do you know what? It's like the little central hub where you get together and you just bellyache about your problems and you help each other. You know, like, that's the equivalent of like inviting people over to your projects to discuss the problems that you're both facing and laugh about them, but also try and solve them. Like, don't be that person that has their pride and says, I'll be fine, like, no, do you know what, like, I already know how to solve this, I already know everything, and I'm not willing to wear my heart on my sleeve a little bit and open up and admit, fuck, I don't know what to do right now. I don't know what to do. I'm lost. I'm wandering in the dark, and I just need some guidance, you know? Because I do that. I always ask people questions, all the time. Like, I DM people, I WhatsApp people, ask people loads of questions all the time. And I don't care if it makes me look like I don't know anything, because I know if someone answers it, then I now know it, you know? And it's about putting the ego to a side. I'm riffing right now, probably wasting your time, but I'm going through so fucking much lately. I'm going through so much, and meeting people at my projects and doing these videos is helping me a lot. So, you know. Oh God, open up to people, man. Ask for help. Ask me for help, ask your partner for help, ask your family for help, ask other people in the property industry for help, DM people, ask them for help. And it's okay to not know what you're doing, as long as you're seeking out the advice, as long as you're willing to learn, as long as you're willing to ask the questions and understand, yes, you're not the smartest person in the room, but that's the room you want to be in, okay? Right, I really am just chatting shit now. Fucking hell. Right, you know what? I'm going to post this video. I'm so sorry if you watched this long, but this is living and breathing proof that if you want to post on social media, it doesn't always have to be good. It just has to be something. And I'm sure there's something that you got to take from this video that you can apply, okay? Right. I love you loads. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.